Oscar Piastri has thrown Formula One into chaos after dropping a stunning piece of new evidence that directly challenges the FIA's penalty handed to him at the Brazilian Grand Prix. What was initially ruled as a clear-cut incident worthy of a 10-second penalty and 2 penalty points has now evolved into a major controversy that threatens to expose serious flaws in the stewarding process. Piastri's message is simple. He had nowhere else to go, and now, newly released telemetry and onboard footage appear to support his claim with remarkable clarity. According to the data McLaren uncovered, Piastri was already fully alongside Kimi Antonelli before the corner entry, braking earlier, holding the inside line, and giving as much room as possible within the limits of racing. This new evidence contradicts the FIA's original reasoning, which stated that Piastri never established the required overlap to be entitled to space. But frame-by-frame review tells a very different story. His front axle was level with Antonelli's mirror at the apex, matching exactly what the FIA's own guidelines defined as sufficient overlap. Even Charles Leclerc, who was forced into retirement because of the chain reaction, defended Piastri afterward, calling it a racing incident and suggesting Antonelli failed to leave enough room. Inside McLaren, frustration is rising quickly. Team principal Andrea Stella described the penalty as unnecessarily harsh and believes the responsibility should have been shared between the drivers. Now, with this new data surfacing, McLaren's stance appears stronger than ever. The question hanging over the paddock now is not whether Piastri was aggressive, but whether the FIA's judgment was fair or if crucial context was ignored. What makes the situation even more dramatic is the meticulous investigation McLaren launched moments after the race ended. Engineers pulled every onboard angle, each telemetry trace, and detailed GPS overlays to reconstruct the moment. Their findings shocked even them. The data shows Piastri's front wing and nearly his entire front wheel alongside Antonelli's side pod before either driver reached the apex. Proof of overlap that should entitle Piastri to space on the inside. Yet the steward's report stated the opposite. From the cockpit, what looks like a simple 3-car battle into turn 1 after a safety car restart becomes far more complex when slowed down. Piastri was committed to the inside line, 2 wheels on the white paint, leaving absolutely no margin. Antonelli, dealing with Leclerc on the outside, pinched the corner tighter than expected, reducing the available space to less than a car width. Piastri's slight lockup wasn't reckless. It was controlled and likely unavoidable given the rapid compression of the 3 cars. The resulting contact was more a matter of physics than intent. McLaren's telemetry shows Piastri actually braked 7 meters earlier than Antonelli, a complete contradiction to the steward's suggestion that he lunged or braked late. Brake pressure data confirms he attempted to slow the car as much as possible, while GPS overlays prove he remained within track limits even as Antonelli turned in. In other words, he didn't dive bomb. He reacted to a gap collapsing faster than any driver could reasonably anticipate. After the race, Piastri spoke with a mixture of frustration and calm certainty. "No matter how you look at it, I don't see what else I could have done," he said. "I was as far left as possible. I can't just disappear." That final line quickly became the symbol of McLaren's argument. Even Leclerc, the driver whose race ended because of the contact, supported Piastri. He admitted that while Oscar was optimistic, Antonelli didn't leave the necessary room, adding, "When you're 3 wide into turn 1, everyone has to give space. It's just a racing incident." That kind of public support from the driver most affected is extremely rare, and it carries huge weight. Stella added more pressure by calmly dissecting the FIA's decision. He said the penalty ignored context, ignored the natural chaos of 3 wide braking zones, and ignored the fact that Antonelli turned in aggressively despite knowing Piastri was there. Stella believes the responsibility should be shared, not placed fully on Piastri. Meanwhile, inside the FIA office, everything depends on the interpretation of one clause, established overlap. The stewards claimed Piastri's front axle was not alongside Antonelli's mirror before the apex. But McLaren's slow-motion analysis shows otherwise. Piastri's front wing was in line with the mirror at the moment Antonelli turned in. The difference is only a few centimeters, but in Formula One, where margins are measured in thousandths of a second, those centimeters matter, and they could invalidate the entire basis of the penalty. The paddock is divided. Several former F1 drivers and analysts have publicly criticized the FIA's inconsistency, pointing out that similar incidents, like Carlos Sainz versus Liam Lawson in Zandvoort, were later overturned when new footage came to light. That precedent gives McLaren a legitimate chance to launch a right of review, allowing new evidence to be officially considered. Antonelli has remained mostly silent, though sources within Mercedes say he considered the contact normal racing, but admitted he didn't expect the corner to tighten so quickly. For a rookie driver still learning the intricacies of wheel-to-wheel combat in F1, the move might have simply been misjudged. Yet the FIA's language placing full responsibility on Piastri leaves no room for nuance, something many believe is a growing problem in modern stewarding. For Piastri, the emotional toll is obvious. He lost a likely podium, valuable championship points, and momentum in his title fight against teammate Lando Norris. 10 seconds may sound small, but in today's tightly packed era, it's the difference between a trophy and frustration. With Norris now 24 points ahead, Piastri's championship hopes have taken a significant hit, one that may not be justified if the penalty is proven wrong. Behind the scenes, McLaren's technical division is compiling a detailed evidence package, including braking maps, video overlays, and high-resolution slow-motion frames, to present to the FIA. If accepted, the stewards will be forced to revisit the incident, potentially marking another chapter in Formula One's ongoing debate over consistency, transparency, and the interpretation of racing rules. Fans have exploded online, posting frame comparisons and analysis threads showing Piastri had overlap at corner entry. Many are urging the FIA to admit the mistake, while others argue the governing body must remain firm to maintain authority. But the heart of the debate is clear. Should racing rules be enforced strictly by the book, or interpreted according to the spirit of wheel-to-wheel combat? And that is where this story becomes far bigger than Oscar Piastri. The new evidence doesn't just defend him. It exposes deeper cracks in Formula One's officiating system. If stewards' decisions can be undermined by their own data, the credibility of future rulings comes into question. As night settled over Sao Paulo, Piastri summed up the entire saga in one sentence: "I did what any driver would have done." He isn't backing down. Neither is McLaren, with high-definition footage now revealing details missed in real time. This could become the moment that forces the FIA to confront long-standing issues in how racing incidents are judged. Whether they will admit it remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the evidence McLaren uncovered has shaken the foundation of the penalty. And if fairness truly prevails, Brazil 2025 may be remembered not for the crash, but for the moment Oscar Piastri stood up to the system and changed the conversation about what true, fair racing means.